So on this fine evening, right, I go to start my car. Car works as normal, right? I think it's like December, right? If you know me, I recently graduated in high school. My senior year. I have a car. If you're a senior, don't buy a car. Anyway, right? And on this day, like any other day, I'm driving to school, right? And I get to school fine, right? But I think you know where I'm about to go with. Once you get into the school, you're not really worried about your car, or at least you really shouldn't be, because you should be worried about school. But whatever, right? I'm sitting at my lunch table, right? And then one of my friends told me that my car has a flat. And I'm like, what do you mean my car has a flat? I would know because I drove it to school. He was like, did you not fill it on your way here? And I was like, no. What do you mean it has a flat, right? So school passes, right? And I go outside, and my car looks like Gorlock the Destroyer. I'm being so serious. The damn thing is like on its like it's not even like it looked like a cartoon flat tire. I'm gonna be so serious. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, no biggie. It's just a flat tire. But then I was like, wait, how am I gonna get like the flat off, right? So I had to remind myself, how do I get a flat off, right? Flat tire wouldn't come off the damn thing because it was rusted on there, right? So the car tires rusted onto the wheel thing, right? And so I'm like, how am I gonna get this off of my car, right? And so I'm like looking at YouTube videos. They're not helping me, by the way. 95% of the time, they usually help. This did not help whatsoever. I was so scared of breaking that tire off my damn car, bro. I get out of school at 12, and I have to go to work at 3 that day, right? I didn't account for how long it would take me. So I told them at work I would be there in time, even though I had a flat tire. I was wrong. Did not get back in time. What? Right? So I basically had to tell them, can somebody pick me up, because my car looks like it has depression. So somebody comes and picks me up, and it just happens to be my friend. And it's fine, because my car is definitely not at risk of being towed because it's in a school parking lot with nobody attending it. Definitely not, right? I work with this one friend, right? Let's call him Isaiah, right? I work with my friend Isaiah, right? I asked him to come help me with my car. That was mistake number one. What does he know about cars? He doesn't know how to tie his own shoes. How is he gonna help me with a car? So he tries to help me with my car. It does not work. And I'm like, okay, I really can't get this tire off. So I'm preparing to like leave. But the flat is still on the car, right? So I'm like, what am I supposed to do about the flat being on the car? So the whole time, right, in my car, I'm playing music, but the car is off. And you know about cars, you know what happens when you have the car on, but not, like the battery's running, but the car isn't. So eventually my battery dies. So now I have a flat tire, a dead battery, and an empty high school parking lot, and it's 12 o'clock at night. It gets worse. At this point, I'm just ready to pack up and leave, right? And so I'm going to get my jack to get it from under the car, right? Then my dumbass, I get my jack stuck under my car. How? I have no idea. I'll put a picture on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. So I sent my friend Isaiah to the store to go get me a new jack, and he comes back with a fucking jack stand. There's a big difference between a jack and a jack stand, right? If you don't know what a jack stand is, right? A jack stand basically holds whatever you're putting on a jack, because you're not supposed to work on a car while it's on a jack. So he goes to the store and he comes back with a fucking jack stand. And I'm like, jackass, how am I supposed to use a jack stand if my jack that I'm supposed to use to jack it up with is stuck under the fucking car? So I'm sitting there, I'm dealing with him for an hour. And eventually I get the jack out from like just pushing it around with a hammer. That day was terrible because I really thought my car was cooked. The next day passes and I go to school, but my car's still in the parking lot. Thank God. Still a flat tire. So after school I'm like determined to get it like off. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll just kick the fucking tire off until it comes off. And so a teacher comes by. He's like, "Are you stuck with your car?" And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of am." So the teacher comes over and they also try to get the tire off, right? And they're pulling and they're yanking and they're not getting this tire off. I'm just gonna keep it honest. I'm just keeping it mean. They tried and yanked and pulled and tugged, and they could not get the fucking tire off. They put all their strength into it and could not get. My car shook to the point where the tire rubber on the damn thing almost came apart. So I was like, fine, right? It's not gonna come off. You can go. And he was like, okay, I'm sorry about your tire. And I was like, yeah, it's okay, don't worry. So I'm sitting there, right, knowing that the teacher couldn't get it off, and the teacher was a lot stronger than me. I'm like, I really am fucking cooked. And the next day passes, right, and I say, you know what? Let me give my tire one more shot, because I'm a very determined motherfucker. So I go over to my car after school again, and I'm like, let me just give my tire one more chance, right? So I'm loading up my jack, and I see people walk by. I'm on the floor of my car, right, on the other side, and I hear people walking past, and like, yo, look at this ranky dank ass car, and then And then they see me sitting on the ground with my jack. And if you know me, I'm bald, so I naturally look very menacing, apparently, according to some people, right? But then they see me dirty as hell with the jack in my hand, and I'm working on it, and they immediately get silent. It's the funniest shit ever. And the worst part is, it was a man talking, and he was with his girl, so it made him look like a woman when he did that. It was hilarious. And eventually, this godsend of a teacher, he's like, I used to work at I used to be a mechanic before I even came here, and I'm like, wow, that's great fucking news for me, right? So he goes in the car, right, and he does the same thing the other teacher does. He starts pulling and he starts yanking, and then eventually he's like, yo, this tire might not come off. And then he was like, let me try one last thing, right? He starts kicking the fucking tire, and at this point I am petrified because I've never seen somebody kick a fucking tire off, right? So he's sitting there kicking and kicking, and I think you can guess what happens next, right? The fucking wheel just snaps off like it's fucking Legos. I was like, how in the hell did you manage to get the tire off of the damn car? And he was like, sometimes it just rusts, and I'm like, and my car is fully operational again. I still have the spare on the car, by the way. I never feel it. I never changed it. I'll give story time another shot. All right. Have a good day.